So apparently this is supposed to show you the color of your aura, except that it doesn't. As awesome as that would be, the cameras in our smartphones are simply just not equipped to show us these energetic fields. They do exist though, 100% they exist, and they're really not as mysterious as a lot of people think they are. If you want to know about your aura, generate a bodygraph on my website. It's totally free. Now this is going to tell you what your human design is. Your aura is this electromagnetic field that extends from your physical body. And the movements of this aura are typically dictated by the type of circuitry that you have. That's why it's important to go generate one of these bodygraphs so you can see what kind of circuitry you have. Now, even though the possible combinations of these bodygraphs is virtually infinite, there's only 4 aura dynamics. Most people have the generator or the manifestor type aura. This is about 70% of the population is going to be one of these two. They have the enveloping aura. Like it's a vortex. Life is just coming to them. The way for these people to get the most out of life and live a satisfying life is to respond with the sacral. That's this center right here that my fingers are pointing at. Rock on, brother. Those sacral centers are going to give these like ew, woo, those kinds of responses. And as a generator, that's your filter. If it's bring it closer. If it's get it away. 20% of the world has a penetrating aura. These are the projectors. Y'all have an aura that will absorb the energies of other people and then focus those energies. Hence, penetration. The way to experience success as a projector, which is like the epitome of your aura, is to wait for an invitation. Wait for people to recognize and invite you to do something with them before you do something. Don't just go up to people and start initiating things. That typically does not work very well, and you usually end up bitter, or the thing doesn't end up working out the way you'd hoped. The best way to get to success is to wait for an invitation. This doesn't mean like do nothing until you're invited to do it. Do the things you want to do for yourself, by yourself. And when it comes to being part of groups or being part of organizations or relationships, wait for that invitation. Manifestors are going to have a repelling aura, which this is just pushing things away from it. Just because it has a cool name does not necessarily mean that it's better or easier to have this aura. The strategy for experiencing peace as a manifestor is to inform and initiate. This is the only aura type that is designed, instead of waiting, to actually be the one to make things happen and initiate things. Essentially, you can think of it like this. As a manifestor, you're in a car and there's people walking across the road. If you don't inform them and if you don't initiate, hey, I'm going in that direction, get out of the way, you are going to run over people. Because this aura is just pushing things away, unless you let people know you want them in your life and you initiate connections with others, this aura will just push everything away. Which might be a good thing, because your ultimate goal as a manifestor is to find your sense of peace. Even when it comes to little things, the better you can be about initiating and informing others of what's going on before you go ahead and do it. It's not asking permission, it's just informing, the more peaceful you will be. Now, 1% of the population is going to have an aura like me. I'm a reflector. This aura opens and closes depending on who we're around. One of the defining qualities of a reflector is that they do not have any of these centers defined. This makes them incredibly vulnerable to doing things the way other people do them, not because it works for them, but because they're just seeing it work for somebody else. The reflector aura is able to sample and resist other people's energies. The best way to live as a reflector is to use the lunar cycle to make your decisions, aka wait 28 days before making a decision. This is because everybody that you're around is going to have some type of emotional energy on it, some way of thinking about it, some sexual creative energy, some ego attachment, some direction. There's going to be so much interference that the only way for you to figure out what's actually good for you as a reflector is to spend 28 days moving with the moon to figure out whether or not this decision is the right one for you. As someone who's been doing this for 9 years, the more I lean into this strategy, the better life gets. To the point where I'm like pretty regularly being surprised, pleasantly surprised by what things emerge and what blessings come out of me being super freaking patient and moving with the moon. So my question to you now is not what color is your aura, but what is the dynamic of your aura and how well are you living in harmony with that natural dynamic. Now, before I go, human design is not about resonance. It's not about looking at your chart and being like, oh yeah, that personality test is spot on. Human design is about having a resource that you can run an experiment and observe yourself and see if life gets better living under these certain set of rules. These rules were not invented by man, okay? They were invented by nature. Human design is a synthesis of Kabbalah, I Ching, chakra, and astrology, which are all just pattern recognition systems. The body graphs are essentially an interpretation of your DNA, the thing that makes you who you are. It's a composition of patterns that is going to tell you like what energetic field your body is producing. So if you want to know what aura type you have, visit ReikiMarco.com and generate your body graph. For the people that want extra help with it, I do one-on-one sessions, and I also have reports that are super affordable that will just tell you probably more information than you can handle when it comes to your body graph. Much love to you, friends. Peace.